everybody, and welcome back to the She Shed. Today our tutorial is going to be on this beautiful shawl scarf. It is super soft yarn and I only need one ball to make this shawl scarf. Not going to do it in this colour, we are going to use this colour. It is a bit fluffy, super soft, gorgeous against your skin. It is a Caron Latte Cake. They do come with free patterns. I have not used the pattern. It is a 6.5mm hook, and that is actually correct. Most times I have to go up a hook, but this is correct at 6.5. This is 250 grams. I never go by the grams, by the way. I go by the thickness of the wool and the meterage. So it's 485 meters, and I use one ball for this scarf, shawl scarf. And I just keep going until I run out. You will find this probably one of the quickest, easiest, simplest shawl scarves that you've ever come across. Okay, let's get started. Just for your information, this yarn actually comes in 8 different colours. I've actually used all 8 colours. I do sell these shawl scarves, so you are more than welcome to go on my Facebook shop to have a look at the scarves, all the different colours. Okay, so I go from the middle of the ball, if I can ever find the middle. Oh. There we go. Alright, sometimes you do get a join that's a bit like this. You can snip that off if you like, or you can keep it on there. As the joins for this cake are really good, they just seamlessly go in, there's no knots. I'm going to keep it there. Slip knot. The size, as I said on the cake, indicated 6.5. That is my 6.5 hook. I always start off with a slightly bigger hook. It would normally be a size up, 7.5. I actually don't have a 7.5, so this is my 7 and this is my 6. Alright, so what I need is 60 stitches. Sorry, 60 in my chain. Alright, so we've reached 60 in our chain, and we are going to now swap our hook to the 6.5 correct hook. Now you can do this shawl in any large ball of yarn that you like, and just adjust your hook, stitches, whatever, to the width and the length that you like. It is that simple. We are going to be doing the entire shawl in a half double crochet, and we are going to be going into the back loop of the chain of each stitch. So the front loop is a V, the back loop, the back is a loop, and we're going to go into the back of that. The reason why we do that is so we can have a lovely neat edge. If you can see on that one, and all your V's are lined up, and it creates a nice finish. So your front and your back are the same. Okay, so chain 1, and then in the stitch 1 from the chain 1 you just did, we're going into the back of the loop with a half double crochet. So loop, yarn over, back of the loop, pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're not going through the V at the front, we're going through the loop at the back of each stitch. Yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, pull the yarn through. You have 3 on your hook, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. Let's do that again. Yarn over in the loop at the back of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 that are on your hook. Next one, there's the loop back of the stitch, the loop there, yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Let's do one more. There's the loop there, yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you keep going down the entire way till you get to the end. It can be a little tricky to get into the loop there. This is why using a larger hook when you're making your chain is easy, because it creates a bigger hole. Also, it makes the chain a bit looser, which means that it's going to level out and be more even. If you do it in the same hook as you're doing your whole garment, this tends to tighten in, and so you have one end that comes slightly in and the other end that goes out. So it just evens up your work more, makes a neater finish. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I will continue off camera and meet you at the end. So one more time, yarn over, go through the back of the stitch in that loop, grab the yarn through, pull it through, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Okay, I'm going to continue to the end of the chain, and I will meet you back at the end. Alright, up to the last 3 stitches, yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, and the last stitch could be a bit tricky, so just look out for it. But as you can see, there's the loop, yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through the 3. Okay, so that is the end of your first row. Row number 2, chain 1, turn. So as I said before, we are going to continue doing the half double crochet throughout the whole of this project, and this time you are going through the hole there. Alright, so as you can see, a stitch is a V, and there is the V and the bottom of the stitch there, and you want to get your hook through there. Okay, so there's the V, there's the bottom of the stitch, and you're going in the hole there. Alright, so you've chained 1, we're going into the first stitch here, yarn over into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 3. Now what is nice with this big chunky yarn using a big hook is that it's quite easy to see where that stitch is, that hole, and it can get quite difficult when it is smaller and finer yarn. but this is super simple, super easy. I can get this made up within half a day. So yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And once you get going, it is as easy as that, and you just keep going. Alright, I'm going to finish this row and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, so we're up to the last few stitches. Yarn over, go through the stitch, pull through your yarn, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through the yarn, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through the stitch, pull through your yarn, yarn over, pull through 3. Now the last stitch, which will be your chain stitch, we are using that as a stitch, and it can be quite difficult to find the edge. It is important that you do put your last stitch in here because it will create your nice neat edge. Okay, so it makes your edge lovely and straight and neat. You're more than welcome to put borders on these if you like, but I don't, because my edge is quite nice and neat and it looks tidy and neat anyway. Okay, so finding the edge of this can be quite difficult, especially on the first one. So there's the chain, and what you're aiming to do, there's the stitch, there's the V on the top going underneath. So yarn over, going underneath. Take some practice. Alright, so you'll be able to see the 2 stitches, 2 off the top of the V there. Okay, yarn over, pull through the yarn, there's your 3 on top, yarn over, pull through the 3, and there we go. That's your first row, sorry, I should say second row completed. Okay. Chain 1, turn your work, and there we are on the next row. There is your first stitch right there. Yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through the 3, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the yarn, yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, so I'm going to continue this row. I'll meet you at the end of row 3. Okay, so we're up to the last 3 stitches. So yarn over, through the stitch, pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, through, and then the last stitch is your chain. And what you are looking for on your chain, yarn over, so there's your V, put your V on your hook, so there you go, see your V's there, pull through the loop, through the stitch there, and then you've got 3 on your hook, and pull through the 3, and there we go, third row finished. And you just keep going like that all the way up until you have finished your ball. Just always remember to chain 1 before you turn your work, and then continue on as normal. When you get to the end, come back to this video and I will show you what I do to finish off my shawl scarf, and that is putting on the button. Okay, so these buttons, we actually make these buttons ourselves. They're from our eucalyptus tree. You can use any button you like, but we'll come back at the end of you finishing your shawl scarf and go through how to put the button on. So I'll see you back here when you finish your scarf. Here is the finished product. It's quite long, so therefore it's hard to get into the shot, all of it. All you would have been doing is working your complete ball of yarn till you finished it, and you would get pretty much the exact same length as what I have here. Now we need to put a button on it. What I do is I fold mine lengthways in half. There we go. And go about halfway down. And that's generally where I put my button. I do double check around my neck to make sure that that is fine. I want to be able to hold it together, slip it on and off over my head. I don't make my button so that you can button it into the opposite side and unbutton it. I fix my button permanently so that it just slips on and off over the head. What buttons do I use? I make my own buttons. And here's my button box. Make our buttons from our eucalyptus tree in our backyard, and I do sell these buttons on our Facebook page. I will leave the link below to our buttons that are on our Facebook shop. The question is, which button shall I take? I like having the big buttons, so I think I quite like that one. What do you think? Let's go with that one. I've got my button selected. Now I've got to place my button onto the scarf. So get your lengthways, fold it in half, measure to the opening of your head, what you can slip on and off quite easily without getting caught up. And to me, it's about there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, always check which side you like the look of the best, because sometimes there could be glitches on one side, so it's better to have that inside. So there's where I think it should go. I'm going to fold one over the other, and my button is going to be placed there. And then we sew our button on. You should have some leftover yarn from your ball when you've finished. There's often a little bit left that's not quite enough to make a row, which is ideal because it's enough to sew on your button. Get your yarn needle. Thread your yarn needle and sew on your button. Now this can be a little bit tricky. I don't want all this, so let's cut a bit off. This can be a little bit tricky because you want to make sure that if there is a front or a back or an up or a down of the button, that you've got it the right way, that you're sewing through just the parts you want to sew through and you haven't accidentally sewed through the back of some other area. And the best thing is just trial and error. It's quite hard for me to show you this in detail, but I'll give you some tips and hopefully you'll see it clearly on here. What I do is I start through and I generally will go about 2 stitches back from and leave a tail that I'm going to start off and end off my button. So I've lined up the 2 ends, folding the other one over, and just make sure they're level and go into the first stitch of the other side. Now obviously making sure that you are doing this on the long side, not the short side of your length. So go through the button, go through the button. You can use any button at all for this. It's up to you what your button is, whether it's a big button, small button, 2 holes, 3 holes. The hooks on the back to sew it in so the front is plain. So then I go the second stitch along and go through there, go through the first stitch of the other side, flip it inside out, pull it through, and then this is where I tie a knot to keep it secure. And then I just go backwards and forwards through those holes and double checking that I've caught all the yarn, that I'm going through everything. As many times as I can get it through, and then I know it's secure. One more time should be enough. There we go. Tie it off with that strand again. Cut off the loose ends. And there is my button. There we go. Hope you liked this tutorial. Super simple shawl, which can also bundle up around your neck to make a scarf. Super soft, super cozy. I hope you enjoy making this for yourself, and if you do, please share a photo with me down below. I'd love to see what you have made. Until next time, see you again at the She Shed. Bye everybody.